Back at it again after another blessed week of being alive and another blessed week of opportunities in the market. Now, before I get started, please read the disclaimer in the description and understand that this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. You see, I got this headband on. That means I came to play, but I ain't playing. I'm coming to get mine, and I hope you're doing the same. You have to feel like this market is yours for the taking. And go and take it. And I'm about to show you why, because these opportunities in the market is crazy. Y'all know I got a 10x for y'all. Free Money Friday move on Apple. But we're going to talk about the overall market and certain moves that I made. Now, throughout this week, it was a little different for me because I had to make some adjustments to my schedule. I had a really good win, but I also had a lot of stubborn losses that kind of offset that win. So I end up finishing break even on the week. However, the opportunities they're endless. They're endless. So first, let's talk about the overall market. So as you can see, we had the SPY. Now, like I told you guys, being at these highs, it was nice, but we need some kind of catalyst with the volume to support it for us to get that break over all-time highs and for us to sustain that move. We haven't got it yet. In fact, we're getting tariffs, more war stuff, crazier inflation numbers, Fed talking about increase. The odds, I think it's about 60% or more towards them increasing the rates. So it's a pretty tough market right now, which is why we're starting to pull back. We're arching and pulling back a little bit. But until we get some kind of major news that knocks the market either way, we're going to stay in this little consolidation here. We take a look at QQQ. QQQ actually broke under it. And the reason why I did that is because there's been a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the tech space, AI space, semiconductor space, and it's really because of the CapEx. So that is the capital expenditures, how much money they're spending to continue to produce at the level or more when it comes to the AI space, because it's a lot of money that got to go into it. The data centers, the information, a lot of things that got to go into it that's very costly. So right now the uncertainty is, can they sustain this or possibly find some kind of money out of this that's going to be reasonable for the amount of money that they're spending? So that's why we had a lot of sell off on a lot of these tech AI semiconductor stocks. QQQ is breaking down, and I'm not a fan of this move right here. I'm not a fan. That's typically a sign of possibly at least testing that 680, which we're kind of close, going under, seeing if we can get some kind of pullback and possibly rally back up to the highs. It's going to be pretty tough, but we will see. But let's go ahead and talk about the Free Money Friday trade on Apple. Look at this. And the crazy thing about it is how it's set up. First of all, that monthly option was probably nasty right there. You bought like the end of July option. Look at that beauty right there. But as you can see, we're trending up. We have a small pullback. Got to get some more buyers together before we take this back up. We get some, and it's not even on crazy volume. And just look at that beautiful push right there. Look at that beautiful push. This is why when you find those former runners, like we've been seeing, the MUs, the Apples, the Googles, the Metas, when you find those, or the any of them, SNDK, it's a lot more. I'm just not naming them all. But when you find them, you have to keep them on your list, and you have to actively watch them from day to day if they continue to hold their trend. Look at this beautiful move. Now, I seen this move after it made its initial spike, but I never touched it throughout the day. However, if I would have had the opportunity to look at all my stocks that I have on my list throughout the day, I could have got this move right here. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the intraday. Like, look at this beauty right out the gates. Right out the gates, y'all. So if we can get an entry right here off the rip, that'd have been a beautiful one. Really, really nice push. But where I seen that was in this consolidation here. And what are you doing? You're just volume hunting. Boom, increase in volume, beautiful, beautiful consolidation, breakout, and we're just sitting, and it's just a beautiful grind action from there. Really, really beautiful. Let's go ahead and take a look at the option chart really quick. A low of 40 cents all the way up to 5, so we're seeing 10x move here, guys. So if you could have got it on that first candle, you could have got in probably like around maybe 50, 60 cents. And look at that bad boy going. And like I said, would you get 10x? Maybe, maybe not. But the whole point of it is knowing that we have a margin of error that's so big because the move is 10x. And we're catching the 2, 3, 4x. And it's okay if you want to catch the 10, 20, 15%. Because you can catch that over and over and over again by simply volume hunting and smacking those brakes. Pow, 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 every time. But look at these beautiful moves, guys. All right, back. As you see, we had a little technical difficulties there, but we went ahead and got it restarted, and we're back at it. Ain't nothing going to stop the party, you feel me? Ain't nothing going to stop that money from flowing in. Well, unless you stop it yourself. But, So you guys see what I'm saying? Like we're getting that margin ever for that 10x window. We're just looking to take our money out of that and then keep on moving to the next one. And you see this week after week after week how consistent you can be with this. As long as you, it's 4 key points to this. And shouts out to Lance B because he's the one who made a YouTube about it. Lance, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look him up. Made over $100 million trading. First, you had to have your edge. Then you had to execute. Then you had to have the opportunities to execute. Then you had to have risk management. Now, I'm not going to dive into that. Like I said, if you want to know about it, go look up Lance B and find his videos on YouTube. You can subscribe to him. Amazing, amazing trader, amazing guy. But it's all about executing your edge during these opportunities and making sure you have the risk management for it. Because this doesn't happen every time. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. But as long as you keep that risk controlled, you lose what? 5, 10%? No more than 20, please. That's too much. But you're losing, 5 to 10% on your investment, not your total account, on your investments, and allowing these 50%, these 1x, 2x, 3x moves to continue to fool you. You're fine. You're fine. I promise you. You just have to have the discipline and the mindset to sit through those losses and know that the big win is coming. It's going to clean those losses and put more into your account. But let's go ahead and we don't even let's do it. Let's just pull up the calculator. Let's say we got in at 60 cents, right? And we got out. Let's say we didn't make it to 5.25 was the high. I know I would have definitely been out before then. And say we made it to $4. So let's go ahead and pull the calculator out really quick. So we made it to 4, and we're in at 60. Boom. Times your 1,000. Take out your 1,000. Boom. You see what I'm saying? $5,666 on a $1,000 position, risking 10%. So we're risking $100 for a $5,000 return. That means we can lose that $100 20 times over. Do you get what I'm saying? That's kind of the holy grail of trading. Having your risk reward so far in your favor that you are allowed to lose so many times and still win these big trades that easily blow your losses out the water. Easily. And just being able to do that over and over and over. Don't change it. You know what they say, greatness is born. That consistency, that consistent trading is going to be very boring. But if you do it over and over and over and over, nothing's going to stop you. But that's that for the Free Money Friday. We can go ahead and dive into some of the trades that I took. The one I took on MU, this is where I got my really big trade on. Really simple. Trending, we pull back. Once again, understand that the pullbacks is just to get more buyers. That does not mean it's the end of the move. It's just to get more buyers. We have to find some buyers somewhere because we ran out. Okay, we're finding some. Boom. We find a demand zone, probably some institutional buyers and big time retail investors, some wells. We get that we finally push back up. We get the really nice gap for that push to 1,000. So we gap up, volume, room to run. It was gapping up the same time the overall market was, and we had that typical magnet that'll pull us towards that 1,000. Really, really nice move. Let me go ahead and pull up the intraday chart. Boom, right here. As you can see, we pulled back, found some support, and rallied all the way up $60 on the actual stock. Me, because of my certain circumstances that I'm in right now, I can't sit there and actively watch the market all day, so I have to use my risk amount as my initial investment and just use that there. So for instance, if I'm using $1,000 per trade and I'm only risking 10%, which is $100, I'm now just using $100 right out the gate. So that's what I did. We had a pop from 440 up to 660, pulled back down to about 2, and then thing rallied all the way to $18. And you can do the same thing here. You jump in here, boom, you're out, cool. And then you see this bottom and you see it start to round up like this, you volume hunt. Boom, volume's in, boom, you're here to here. If you want to scalp, cool. If you want to sit, that's perfect because you got a great entry. Once again, increasing volume, boom. Once again, increasing volume, boom. So you see what I'm saying here. You see what I'm saying here. Let me go ahead and pull up that chart really quick too. We were looking at $1,000 and 22. There it is. So like I said, I was in at 450. We had to push all the way up to 660. I wasn't there to get it. I got out at 1297, which is still good, but it's not exactly it's not what I would have done. But you see the pullback, boom, right here where the volume starts to pour in, it's right there around $3. Let's say you're getting at $3, you get this really nice push. Immediately, first of all, you're already up 100%. If you want to, take some profit off the table. If you want to be completely out, that's fine too. At this point, it's whatever you decide to do. It's all about being able to get your slice of the pie out of the whole pie. That margin of error is so big that there's so many opportunities for you to make really good money on it. So take some profit, get out, hold it, whatever. Maybe move up your risk so that way you can still lock in profits if it does pull back on you. And just look at these moves. You're getting in at $3. You're seeing all the way up to 4 or 5x your move. This thing pushed all the way up to 18. I'm gonna show you mine's really quick. Okay, I don't have it right there. Let me pull it up right here. Boom. So as you can see, I was in at 450 out of 1297. I was in right at market open. I got out when I could. $1,000 call. Expiration was the next day. This is on the 21st. Really, really nice move. Provided really good returns. Like I said, though, I had some stubborn losses throughout the week because I'm making adjustments to my new schedule. So I didn't really get to blow this week out the water like I would want to. Next one we have on the list is Tesla. Once again, pretty simple. I'm hoping you guys seen this blueprint. Trending down. Lower highs, we're trending down. We get the huge gap down. Now, there may be some demand zone right here, but we flush right through it. So we're trending down, gapping down. Overall market's gapping down. We have our earnings loser and the volume. Look at the volume. People are running to the door on this. What day was that? That was the 23rd. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Right out the gates, we get the crazy fade. We bounce back, and then boom. And you know me, I'm just looking for the volume increase. So let's zoom in a little bit here. If you don't get in right out the gates here for this nice flush, I'm getting in here. We get the increase in volume. We're breaking low of this. We're pushing towards the lowest days. Now we pull back, and on the option chart, you'll see it. But then it continues again. Now the thing is, we're not worried about that pullback because I'm not looking what the stocks that fit my criteria that I'm trying to trade, they don't provide 10, 20. If they only give me 10, 20, 30%, that means that was not the right stock to trade. Plain and simple. I'm looking for stocks that provide opportunities for 5 to 10x so I can get my 1 to 2x out of it. That's what I'm looking for. So, like I said, you just hit that with you're hitting it with volume. Boom, you're hitting it there. Boom, we have an increase in volume there. Beautiful, beautiful fade. Let's go ahead and pull up the options chart on this one as well. Tesla, we're looking at the 330 put and expiration on the 24. Boom, there it is. So if you could possibly get in early, get in at 250, you immediately get a nice push up there. And we pull back. Look, we got to be okay with this pullback. Well, it pulls back down to like 220. That's okay. We're in at 250. That's about, depending on how much you use, that's not too much of a risk. It's over 10%, but that's not too much. And boom, like I said, well, I'm pushing in right here. We're getting in around $3. Beautiful push. We immediately get 50%, but that's not what we're looking for. And then we pull back to that $3. That's okay. Now look at that move. Boom, 1x. Now look at the move. Boom, we're getting 2x. Now, of course, that's 3 times 3, yeah, but you got to take your initial investment out. Boom, now you're getting 2x. Now you're getting 3. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moves, guys. That's what I'm looking for in the market. And that was it for me this week. Those were the runners. Apple was the 10x weekly options for you guys. I'm always going to show you guys the opportunity. I hope you're picking up on this blueprint. Right now, my eye is on Apple. I want to see what we get next week. If we get some kind of news that'll fuel the market. I mean, Apple's rallying wild. The overall market's selling off. So I just pay attention to Apple. That's all I'm going to tell you. Pay attention to Apple. And the biggest sign, I'm going to show you. The biggest sign is the way we start the day. You see that? Boom. What's another day that it rallied? We're going to look at the 16th. And the 15th. Yeah, that was ugly. Whew. There it is, 15. See that? Boom, immediately. The last day was this day. That's the day that tricked me. It didn't have the volume to sustain the move. Anyways, ooh, look at this. Damn, that was a beautiful, beautiful price action. I want to see what it did on this day. Let's check it out, y'all. On 7-2. Let's check it out. Like I said, this is gonna be your clear sign. You have Apple on your list. This is gonna be a clear sign. If you see this thing open up like this, Be ready to take that risk. Be ready to take that risk. Make sure you have your. Remember, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not giving you advice. I'm not telling you what to trade. I'm just telling you my thoughts, my opinions. But when you see this thing open up like this, but all right, that is it for me, you guys. Like I said, I'm watching Apple. We'll see what kind of news we get on SPY, QQQ. I believe USO had a really nice rally. Yeah, that's rallying really nice due to all the war things. I do look at other stuff like ETFs to help support portfolios. You know, in case somebody's looking for the long term when they're going towards retirement. I do have certain stocks that I look at for that. But I don't know what gold's been doing. That thing sold off bad. But that's it for me. Banks are still sitting that thing high. That's really nice. That's really nice. But that is it for me, guys. I hope you guys learned something from this and see the opportunities are provided. But hey, man, y'all stay safe, stay blessed. Get ready. Let me put it back up here so we can get ready.